Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Midlife Crisis. I've actually remembered to unmute my microphone tonight, so I hope that my you can hear me loud and clear. Um, so yeah, thanks for those of you that have been following along over the last few weeks. I've been working my way through these wonderful Primaris Intercessors um, using the Space Wolves upgrade sprues that have come in as part of the Combat Patrol Space Wolves set. So tonight we're really just about at the finishing touches for these little guys. So we're going to be I'm going to be focusing on some of the details. So I've got lots of these little sort of Space Wolf icons and fetishes and all those gubbins. I've got some sidearms. I've got a stack of purity seals, and actually completely forgot about the backpack. So I'm going to try and get those through tonight as well. So yeah, without further ado, as you can see, I've already snipped the sprues. So let's put them tunes on. So yeah, I mean, you know, for everyone watching, feel free to say hi in the chat. Um, yeah, feel free to say hi in the chat, and we'll see how this goes. So yeah, just trying to work out where to start first. Lots of little bits. I think what I'm going to do is start off with these purity seals. So these are always good. Always a good start. Okay. Request for a bit more music. So hopefully that's a bit better. What a crap username. What a fantastic username that is. Hi, welcome to the channel. Hope you enjoy things tonight. So starting off, I'm gonna do the parchment itself with Wraithbone and Screamer Pink. If you can see that, okay, we'll make up the wax seals themselves. So where has my little palette gone? Here we go. Oh, hi Abby, welcome to the channel. So I hope everyone's been having a good week this week. Don't know where you're all watching from, but certainly here in the UK, it's been a little on the chilly side, which is actually quite nice. So yeah, I'll just kick it off with the Wraithbone. I think what I'm going to do as well, I've got in here a number of bones and skulls as well. So I'll try and do a reasonable order and try and get everything done in one go. So it's quite a nice little colour, this Wraithbone. It's sort of, yeah, very sort of off cream colour that works superb, not just for skulls and stuff, but also I find it's really nice on things like parchment. A multitude of uses it has. Right. So I can see what it's going to do to me tonight, is we've got these tiny bits with my big sort of club fingers here. I've got fat fingers, which doesn't really help for this kind of thing. So let's see if I can get them up in the old tweezers. Yeah, I had some great fun over the last week. So I got my Death Guard stuff a couple of weeks back when it came out. I think it wasn't last week. No, it was the week before last. Which is absolutely fantastic, and looking to sort of field my first sort of game using 9th edition Death Guard rules. Really like there's just some real subtle changes in there, especially around things like disgusting resilience and stuff. It's not quite such a million re-rolls that you might need a 6 just to make those saves, but actually it's much more sort of focused. So I'm hoping it's going to play a lot smoother. Also love the fact that Death Guard Marines now have 2 wounds, because that was always just such a bugbear of mine in 8th edition when your boys would only have 1 wound and just getting wiped out by the most basic of troops. I think they're a bit more intimidating now. So yeah, I'm gonna look forward to see how those play this weekend, and I may well pit them against some of these Space Wolves. So it would be fantastic if I could also get this unit fielded. Let's get a bit more water on that palette. I need a bit more paint than that. So yeah, you know, as always, if you want to share any sort of projects you guys are working on at the moment, love to hear what you're doing. Love to see what you're doing as well, actually. I'm, in case you didn't know, I've now got a Twitter account, which sort of linked to the channel, which is at MLC_40k. And I'm sort of taking part in the hobby streak, my hobby streak run that a lot of the mini people in the mini community are doing. So yeah, I put on daily updates, normally try to put on a picture of whatever I've been working on, good, the bad, the ugly. It's quite nice, and also sort of keeps motivated, thinking, you know, if I just do half an hour, it just keeps everything motivated. But yeah, if you're doing the hobby streak, please feel free to give me a shout on there, and also if you want to share any mini pics, please do tag me in on your tweets. Would be absolutely fantastic to see what you guys are up to. Right. I always find these things take just so much longer than you expect, and it's these last bits that, for me personally anyway, I always end up starting to try and rush them, and all the good work that I've put in getting the minis sort of in a nice state will be undone with one miss, one miss stroke with the old paintbrush here. So yeah, I hope you guys are staying safe and well in the at the moment. It's pretty grim out there in the outside world. I must admit, I don't think I've left the house beyond going to the supermarket since Christmas now, so it's all feeling very, very weird. But hopefully not for much longer now. my usual trick here now, putting too much water in, so it's a little bit runny, but I can live with that. We can just give that a second coat once it dries. So yeah, just going to grab some of these bone details. We've got this wonderful wolf skull here. Of course, I'm painting on the skull first, really. I don't I'm painting in just sort of behind it, which I think, well, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just leave the whole skull in there. And we've got these two nice sort of bones again. Doesn't matter too much. I'm going to put quite a heavy wash on this, so even though the paint's sat there sort of deep within the in the recesses of this, when I put that shade on, it should darken the whole lot down. Sometimes that's the nice thing with the washes, it's just that you can cheat with them. Well, I've definitely put too much water in this. Love these wolf tails here. Let's have a bit of fun with these guys. I'm going to try and get some nice sort of blendings. So we'll start off with this sort of wraith bone, but I'll use various browns and just try and get them through. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, tweezers are absolutely invaluable with this. I've also got a set of this strange sort of miniature torture device with various claws and stuff on it that you can hold things in certain positions, which does help, but that's actually going to be a bit big for this. So yeah, it's just about finding, as my dad used to say, right tool for the job. Although normally my dad would follow it up with, "You're a right tool." A second coat. I might even do just a little bit more once they're dry. There we go. So next up, I want to do the wax on those purity seals. So Screamer Pink as my starting base colour. Gotta admit, I love the effect that the purity seals have, and for the lore and stuff, but I will admit, I absolutely bloody hate painting them. Find them so fiddly. If anyone's watched my my video where I paint the new sort of Primaris priest model, the amount of scrolls and purity seals on that was just absolutely insane. I think the only thing that was had more than the purity seals and stuff on that model was with the amount of skulls it had. So yeah, pretty sort of crazy model to paint, but lots of fun. Yeah. painting both sides of these. The back will be glued, but it's always nice to do a proper job and completely cover them. Last thing I want to do is take a look at these when it's finished and just sort of see that little bit of grey plastic like the edges here that I've missed, because that is a really unsatisfying way to to wrap up. It's been a few weeks of painting. Overall though, I think this has been a fairly rapid process. So 5 Intercessors, I've been doing a couple of hours a week. 5 weeks, and we're just about there. So I know I've seen speed painting videos, people painting Intercessors in a sort of in an hour and stuff, but absolutely no way I can do that. But yeah, I think if my maths is working right, these are averaging about it averages about 2 hours a model, which I think is not too shabby for someone of my very limited ability. So yeah, one thing I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to be doing the paint markings on my shoulder pads here, and that's a terrifying point in the build for myself, because that's where it can all go horribly wrong. So fingers crossed for that. Will probably be quite an amusing amusing half hour of me trying desperately not to swear all over the stream. Okay. Yeah, at this point I'm just avoiding using metallics. I know I've got a few bits where I want to hit some golds and stuff on, but I'm just going to kind of leave those for now. I don't want to get metallics. Oh, hang on, I've got a dog waffling at me here. There we go, he wants to be in the stream as well. So, after is, actually I'm just going to give these another quick coat and give them a little bit longer to dry. What I'll do is actually give all of the parchment parts of this a wash using Seraphim, using the Seraphim sepia, which is always a nice colour onto purity seals. What's up, Captain? Come on then, come and say hello to everyone. Okay, so while actually the wax and stuff is dried, so I'm going to hit that now with Carroburg Crimson. This pot is about 10 years old and I've barely touched it, because the only thing it ever gets used on is purity seals. So I do sometimes go back and highlight these. I'll use a bit of a Screamer Pink again, and even just sort of a touch of white in it, but yeah, when I come to do the lieutenant, my character models, they'll have a bit more detail on them. But these are my rank and file troops, so just a quick wash, I think, will be the order of the day tonight. So yeah, just wonder how many of you saw the announcement last weekend from GW about the new Warhammer Quest, and I believe one of the first, or I don't know actually, I might have done one before, but having Warhammer Quest in the Mortal Realms in Age of Sigmar. I'm hoping it's going to be somewhere between what they did with the Blackstone Fortress and a bit of a dungeon crawl, because yeah, for a Saturday evening with your mates, a bit of dungeon crawling is always a nice little way to spend some time. So next up, so yeah, so next up, yeah, well, that's dried up nicely now, so I'm going to use the Seraphim Sepia. Pop that down, just a little bit of that on the palette, and I just want to just water it down a touch, maybe a bit more than that. So, I'm not using medium to water this one down. I just find that it just gives me a bit of a better consistency to make the whole thing look kind of like stained tea. If the old mutt in the background doesn't quieten down soon, I'm going to have to just drop off for a couple of minutes to let him out. So funny, I remember making little artifacts for D&D games when I was a kid, and using tea to stain the paper to make it look sort of aged and crinkled and stuff. And here I am all these years later doing exactly the same thing to try and simulate aged parchment, and basically staining it the colour of a rather strong cup of tea. There we go. There's loads of things you can do on these purity seals. And one thing that I've done is sort of just put little black dots on it just to sort of indicate the writing. And again, when I do some more of the sort of character models, they're going to have a lot more of this on there. Okay, so we'll leave those to dry for a bit, and what I'm going to do now is just start on the leatherwork here. We've got the side arms, we've got the knives, a few little pouches and packs here. I've got a few extra here if fancy putting them on. And what I'm going to do is just sort of kick off with using Mornfang Brown, which I always find this is just a really nice sort of start, and gives me a good sort of leather, good base for leather. I always have this problem where it's just slightly thins down too much. Always struggle to get the consistency right on the old Mornfang Brown. Again, another incredibly ancient pot, one of the few that survived sort of from, gosh, what would that have been, 6th edition I was playing. Had a brief interaction with in 2010, 2011. Yeah, my goodness, that was an edition of 40k that had its problems. Never, yeah, such a convoluted rule set that just had so much potential in it, but just didn't quite flow. It was almost like somebody at GW Studios went, "Hey, do you remember the original Rogue Trader edition? Well, surely the original has to be the best, so let's go back to have some insane rule set." I must admit, the more rules which are coming out for Crusade, I'm a little bit nervous that it's going to get a bit crazy on the old rule front. I think the main thing is just to fully understand the rules for if you're doing Crusade, which is, incidentally, that's what I'm kicking off this weekend. One of the key bits to that is to just really make sure you've got your own faction nailed, and trust that the people you're playing with have done the same for their faction. Certainly things like the agendas and additional stratagems and stuff. Yeah, with the Death Guard are absolutely wicked, and building up sort of plague contagions and stuff is going to be a huge amount of fun to see my Death Guard force build through, which incidentally haven't picked a name for the actual Crusade force yet, but have come to a conclusion that they're from the 3rd Plague Company, Mortarian's Anvil, and they are going to be 3rd Plague Company, 3rd Sepsis Cohort, 1st whatever the one is after that, and finally, so it's all the 3, so it's 3 threes, so a good sort of trio. But yeah, I'll be scrolling through the NHS website later on, having a look for the most obscure sort of coughing, phlegmy type disease I can find for for my name. Well, this is getting a bit weird now. I think I need a subject change. I knew that this music is just very bizarre. I don't know whether to remove this track from the playlist or just leave it on, because it is so odd. Yeah. Oh, what does it remind me of? I can hear it. I know what this reminds me of. Does anybody remember there was a detective series set in Amsterdam in early 80s, late 70s called Van der Valk? And yeah, this just reminds me of that. Yeah. Sunday afternoons, Channel 4, dubbed from Dutch into English, bad lip syncing, loved it. Okay, and I'm going to... No, I'm going to get all these finished first. Yeah, I think the other thing that I need to... that I'm going to do while I've got this out is take a look at all the... there's sort of a number of straps and stuff that need painting, and I'm actually thinking I might go with a darker as I'm watching this go on, just to put a bit of variety in there. Probably going to use something like dryad bark just to put a bit of variety. As we say, variety is the spice of life. And let's see how many browns we can use on a set of grey miniatures. Oh dear. Okay, right. That's enough of all the prog. Let's get a bit more metal going here. There we go. Not exactly metal, but a bit more upbeat anyway. I've just noticed on this knife here, we've got this like bit of what looks like sort of thread that's going around the bottom here, the top, sorry. So I'm gonna paint it first of all in this, and then see if I can maybe pick that out with a darker brown when I do all those other straps I was talking about. I'm going to leave the bottom plain for now. Probably gonna, oh I don't know, let's make these a bit special and use a sort of gold maybe. That's one thing I love about this, when you've got the sort of uniforms done, and you know everything's sort of sat there in a very sort of fixed, regimented way. It's when you come and paint these final details that you can actually really let the creativity sort of come loose a bit, and opportunities there just to make each model that little bit individual. Nothing to say that our rank and file miniatures might all look similar, but they don't have to be dull. Right, what I'm going to do is just water, not quite that much, just water this down a little bit more. almost, yeah, so it's just starting to pull itself apart there. And in fact, just a little bit higher up on this, so almost a bit less on my brush. So just try and glaze it a little bit. And if I get this right, we ought to, as it dries, get a nice sort of effect with a white tip of a wolf's tail and progressively darker browns moving up. Yeah, quite like that. That's me tweezers gone. There we go. Yeah, it feels like this is all starting to come together quite nicely, actually. Let's grab a bit of Rhinox hide. Just about there. Yeah, these purity seals are really starting to dry nicely now. Quite pleased with how they're turning out. Of course, now I'm spotting all the bits that I missed. Right. Oh, my monitor's glitching a little bit here. Not quite sure why it's done that, or why my screen has suddenly gone a bit crazy here. Hang on. There we go. If in doubt, switch it off and back on again. Right, yeah, so as I was saying, Rhinox hide. Here we are. Really nice, sort of deep brown. Lots of, I don't know, I just found it as a paint that has a lot of character to it. Definitely what I like to use if representing aged leather, which I went into probably in in much too much detail about how nice I like the aged leather seats on my Primaris Outrider unit. Probably the Gremlins. Might be Gremlins, might be Nurglings. Maybe I pricked their little mischievous ears while talking about the Death Guard. Right. Okay, I'm just going to do this almost like a wishbone on there, so it's for a little necklace type thing. Bugger, I missed one. Okay, no biggie. Right, what I'm going to do, on the shoulder pads here, we had a number of these with these sort of Space Wolf icons and stuff on them. Little sort of trinkets, so, you know, whereas other units may, other legions, other Space Marine chapters even, might be using good old sort of plasteel or maybe even some sort of precious metal. I think our Space Wolves will like to use the leather. Oh, and of course I then splatter absolutely everywhere. I think in my description for this stream, I did say either watch me nail it or fail it. On this one, I certainly am a fail it category. Right, no worries, we can touch that up in a bit. Gremlins, I keep thinking, I can't get that film out of my head now. And I can't stop thinking how much better that would have been if we had Nurglings in it. Critters, that was another one. That film could almost have been written for Nurglings. Very odd film, that. There we go. Looking quite nice now. Beard hair stuck in my blue tack. Don't want beard hair in the blue tack. Holding my breath doing this, trying to keep me bristles all in one spot. I do say that about 80% of the effort goes to trying to get the last 10% of the final product which is very much the case here. What I'll do is I'll just pull that together with a bit of a wash. Yep. There we go. Quite a bit of braiding on this one actually. This is quite nice. Maybe our Sarge has ambitions to try and make it up into the our sergeant has ambitions to try and make it up into the officer. Nah, actually, I don't think he does. I think he's just highly decorated. He's got his custom chainsword, which is he's had for a long while. There he is. Really like the way, if you're watching last week, really like the way the scarring ended up coming out on this. That was a fun model to paint the face on that. Right. So hard on these browns. I don't know what it is. I've got way too much now, way more than I need, but never mind. With this is just use this as final bit here on our little wolf tails. And that will set maybe even more as a glaze on there. And I'll just pull that together with a bit of a wash. Just need a bit more pigment in there. It's a real balancing act with this to get enough to give it some good colouring and to give differentiation between different sort of layers, and to make sure that you're still keeping the blends looking nice and smooth. Smooth transitions is what we're after. Have done this before by wet blending, and really like it as a technique, but it's definitely something I think I'll need a bit more practice at. Right, yes, I said I was going to go back to these knives, didn't I? Here we go. Just giving a little bit of difference on there, which yeah, I like to do. We've got a little empty one here, which starting to get a bit sticking to me now, which is never a good sign. Right, what's next? Am I ready for these pack markings yet? No. Should I just... Looking a bit better. So yes, our purity seals are now looking pretty good. What I'm going to do is just flip them over and just add a bit of wash to the back of them as well. Right, getting back to the old Seraphim sepia. Yeah, I'm just trying to get that to sort of settle in. I mean, I have gone in the past and done a huge amount of sort of highlighting and really worked these in. Worked in the details on these, but as I've said all along, these are sort of tabletop ready, not parade standard. But still want more than just number base colours, so is it me or is the music I've got just random shuffle going on, by the way. I'm not purposely picking these tracks out, but it seems to be very, very bizarre tonight. I don't know what the algorithm's doing. Right, that's me brush on the floor. Yeah, I don't know what my algorithm's doing with the old with your music tonight, but it is certainly sitting in the very, very odd category. Now, where shall we go next? Okay, I am going to do there's a few of these now which have got the sort of stone, these like little stone sigils on them. So I'm going to kick those off. I need to find my, there it is, Mechanica Standard Grey, that's what we're after. Doesn't matter how many paints I get out, I always need ones which are still sat on the shelf. Okay. Where are they? Here we are. Now, one of the things to keep an eye out for here is that there's some really nice inlaid runes on these, and what I want to do is make sure that I don't clog all that detail up with the paint, because when I put a Agrax Surfshade wash across it, I really want that to to be very, very obvious. I had lots of fun doing runes recently on the old Stormfang which I'm building, and trying to get glow effects and stuff on that, which is, yeah, a lot of, like I say, a lot of fun, but don't quite need that level of commitment for these guys. But it's still nice to know that where there's a rune, there's a way. Maybe not. They're looking quite tasty actually. I'm going to use another one. I've seen some fantastic Space Wolf miniatures being painted. Recently, there's sort of on Twitter, there's quite a few of the people with their packs. Packs on parade. Now that's that's maybe something that GW should do for us as fans of the Sons of Russ. Right. So this is coming nicely. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to where we started with the Wraithbone, because I just realised there's a couple of sort of teeth and stuff which I've missed. I'm just going to grab just a touch of that. Touch of this skull just a little. See how that looks once the washes go across it. Yeah, some of these bones. Paint was watered it down a bit too much and it didn't stick, so my paint was too runny. weird problems to have. Now, if that one goes more, I know there are more. We have our skull here on our Sarge's shoulder pack. There we go. Yep, got a nice little tooth on there. I think that's the lot. Right. I'm just having a look at this little rune thing and I'm quite interested. There's a lot of different levels of detail in here, and I think what I'm gonna do is, yeah, I'm gonna paint the main rune red. Just a bit of your Mephiston red here. I'm not going to be too precious about it because I'm going to come back and tidy that up in a wee while. There was that pack which I messed up a little bit on. Let me just touch that up. Okay, and there's another one of these. Here we go. Where to next? What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? So I have missed painting that pack, which is a bit of a shame. I'm gonna have to get, yeah, let's touch up the Mournfang brown a little bit. Again, paint's dried out. Just a little bit of water with that, because a few of these just needs a little bit extra here. Looking at his knife, I've not actually painted out his knife yet, so something I need to get onto fairly shortly. Just trying to make my mind up on these blades. I've got two knife handles and I can't make my mind up what colour to paint them. Oh, the paint's dried solid now. Yeah, it's going to have to be a wet palette invested in fairly shortly. Oh well, that just hit the floor, never to be seen again. I think I'm going to do is just quickly slap a bit of Mornfang brown onto these guys here. A couple of extra packs and pouches. I always like to have a few extras just so when I do drop them, I can add them, and these are very much just going to be added if I think it's going to be necessary on them. And if I don't make it onto the models themselves, it's always worth having some bits like this painted up, because I can make great little effects on the bases as well, and just give that little bit of sort of scenery if you're doing dioramas and stuff. There we go, I'll do. Found my tweezers, and they found the floor. So, not so much in the way of technical issues today, but more in the way of tweezer issues. I've got the dropsies. There we go. Let's see, where should we go next? Okay, so I said I was going to attempt these pack markings, so I think... Ooh, terrifying. Point of no return. Let's see if I can get these right. So I've been playing about with, just on a piece of paper, with some designs for these. First things first, I'm going to need a reasonable amount of paint, so actually I'm going to use my Wells palette and a larger brush just to get this in, and then we'll go to some very sort of fine point detailing. So yeah, I've been playing about with a few different designs. I need to make the pack markings unique. I think I've been calling these guys hunter packs, and they're not, of course. They're sorry, I've been calling them fang packs, and they're not. They're actually hunter packs. So bad, yeah, my bad there. And this is a brush which I never throw brushes away. Try and use them, and yeah, I left it in the pot by mistake and ended up with that hook tip. Well, it's actually really nice to use as a little mixing brush now. Okay. So I'm going to start just with one of these plain ones, so if I completely mess it up, it's easier to remedy. What I find is once I get get going and get into the swing of it, it starts to flow fairly well, fairly rapidly. So I need to make myself a bit of room here. And what I'm going to do, just work out roughly the middle part, and then pop a dot there and do the same on the other side. Put that slightly high there. Positioning, there we go. Now very carefully, I want to draw a line down to the bottom corner because I've gone a bit wide there, so it's I'll have to go back and just sort of tidy that up. same on the other side. Again, we're just going to need a little bit of sharpening up, and then just find the very middle down here, and we'll join that up. Yeah. So what I'll do first is I'll use a fine brush to get the initial patterns drawn on, and then I'll go back with a slightly larger brush just to get that filled in as smooth as possible. I'm afraid I'm not going to be talking that much while doing this, as just need to concentrate on making sure I don't go completely all over the place. Just like that. Okay. That's 2 down. That's better. The aim for this really is to get these initial sort of templates drawn out. And if it goes a bit wrong like this one has, that's okay. It's all part of the learning curve. The more we do, the better. Yeah, the better we get. Very unhappy with that one. So what I find really essential with this is just to keep cleaning my brush out, especially with such a small brush. It can dry really rapidly, and you can end up with paint sort of stuck to it. Okay. 100% commitment with this one. tidy up. I think it's all right. I don't know what that weird shiny dot is in the middle of it. Okay, now this one's a bit... Actually, what we've got here is I can line it up and use the skull. So I've got to kind of imagine where the lines are going to on this one. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm still... No, I'm not actually. That is all I'm using that brush for, and I'm going back to the... what do I call this? Insane detail. Yeah. I do one even smaller than that. Called the Psycho, which I do have, but have never and probably will never use. There we go. Right, let's... Cool, really happy with that actually. What we'll do is once this is all sort of dried, is I'll go back and just fix those up a bit. Yeah, actually it's not quite. Oh, look at that, that's awful. What have I done? What have I done? Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what you think. That's starting to look a little bit like, what's it called, that Marvel? The Marvel anti-hero of Deadpool. There we go. So maybe that'll be this pack's pack name, the Deadpool. Yeah, I quite like that actually. One of the important things with this stage is not to panic when things go wrong, and I say when rather than if, because they always do, in my experience. What you're best to do, put it down, move on, do something else so you calm yourself down, and let the paint dry, dust settle, paint dry as it were, and as long as you're using thin coats, you can always just sort of paint over it again, even though painting over a deep black can take a few coats. With a little bit of patience, you can always put it right again. Yeah. Just making sure I keep my brush constantly, constantly cleaned. I think I had a lot more success painting faces last week, which was a bit of a nemesis for me. So normally I don't have too many issues with these paint number pack markings, but yeah, really struggling a bit with them tonight. So guys, just realised my camera, I think I've knocked it at some point, and I'm painting well out of. There we go, that's better. Yeah, it's more central, isn't it? Sorry about that. Must admit, I'm going to be very happy once I've got these glued on. Is that all of them? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think that is all of them. Yeah, looking pretty good there. So I'm just going to go back here. We've got the handles on the side arms. And yeah, I think in our final sort of half hour, it's going to be mainly getting the old glue out and sticking these on. So yeah, I'm trying to work out what to go for next. With this, whether to do the Sons of Morkai, Primaris Reavers, or whether to do a Invictus Warsuit. Really, yeah, I can't make my mind up between which one. Don't know if you guys know what, want to help me out here. Tell me which one you think I ought to go for next. And what the heck's going on here? That's fine. Must remember to breathe. Keep holding my breath while doing this. I'm suddenly wondering why I'm seeing spots. Still not done those backpacks. Don't think we'll get to those tonight. I'll probably finish those off in the week actually, because to be honest, you see me paint the paint the power armor on these guys, so I don't think it's overly interesting watching a set of identical backpacks being painted. Okay. Right. Just noticed a few bits still on the Mornfang Brown where I've missed a little bit, so I'm just going to touch that up. And it's just a sort of constant, just being observant as you're going around these models, just to make sure if you notice you missed a bit. I find it easier to go back and sort of fix it straight away rather than wait and think, oh yeah, I'll do a batch job to sort that out, because invariably I'll drop it. No, invariably I'll forget to do it. Cool, right. So, in fact, before I do the washers on this, before I do the washers? Yeah, before I do the washers, I'm going to crack out the old Retributor armor and just put in a little bit of gold detail on one or two of these items. I knew there was another tooth which I'd missed. But before I do that, I'm going to use a bit of Wraithbone and do that tough. I always find it's these little details that just always catch me out right at the very sort of last minute. I always forget to just do that. Okay, there we go. Just remembered we had our little diamond thingy here, and I said I wanted to paint inside, so I'm going to just use a bit of, in fact I was going to use a fang, changed my mind. I am going to use, I've got really nice layer here of the Baharoff blue, which is almost sort of a turquoise blue. It's a layer side, layer paint, so I'm going to use it straight from the pot and just try and run it into that detail. There we go. Right, now, now I'm going to start hitting those metallics. So very, very small amounts are actually needed. Okay, I'm going to start with and really what I'm trying to do here is I just want to give something that will just contrast against the brown, and there we go. I have actually got a bit of Tupperware, which is what I normally put these in, but as I'm sort of bouncing around them, really sort of bouncing all over the place with these little bad boys tonight, but yeah, I thought I would sort of leave them all on the board rather than putting them into the Tupperware, but hindsight, maybe not my best plan because they're all sticking to me. Wolf tail pom-poms here. switch. Whew. Let's give our brush a good clean. These little relic holders, I like to just finish these off with gold. You're carrying your mate's bones into battle to see his death being vengeance being sought. I wouldn't particularly carry them in anything other than an inlaid gold little chalice. Let's paint it gold. Looks a little bit garish now, but the magical happens with the Agrek Surf shade in a wee while. Just grab a wee bit more. Almost out. Damn, I slipped a bit with that. I'm going to have to go back and just tidy that up a little bit. Check all these. And here's a little runic bit we done miss. I may Security seal short. Huh. Where's that gone then? So yeah, I think just about there. The only thing I want to do was on this one. It's that middle bit between between the red and the blue. I just wanted to put in a little bit of lead belcher just to sort of put a little bit of separation there. Yeah, I think I found my missing. Oh no. Noticed there's a little bit of that blue got. I should just, damn it. There we go. Nice. Okay guys, what I think I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to put these into, I'm going to glue these all in place now, and then I'm going to give them a Agrexa shade wash once they've fully settled. So I'll probably leave the washing for next week of those bits, just so I could get them all glued in place and give it time to fully dry. So there was that. There was one of these pads which had I noticed a little, there we go. Okay. Wow, it feels like we've been a long time to get to this point, but let's get all these shoulder pads off. And I've got all the blue tack that's now well and truly dried in there, so I just use a pair of tweezers to pull that out. Blue tack, poster putty if you're in the States. Okay. There has to be an easier way to get this, this out of here. Now in theory, if you put more blue tack onto it, it should progressively pull it all out, but if your blue tack's like mine and it's got incredibly sticky through being too warm, having some weird bearded bloke constantly mucking about with it, just doesn't want to come out at all. I'm trying to be really careful here because what I don't want to do is bring any of the paint off. Okay. Come on, because I want to get you on first. There we go. Okay. Now what I tend to use is plastic glue for things like shoulder pads, and the more sort of delicate stuff I like to actually position with a little bit of super glue, just because I find it gives me a bit of an easier time in arranging it. So good old Sarge. Let's see now, will his shoulder pad actually fit on? Yeah. So it's good just to sort of dry fit it first, make sure it's going to affect. Sometimes I need just a little bit of moving around, and this is a sort of prime example of one that, because of the odd angle of his arm, come on, Sarge. get a bit of glue on my fingers there, and that's just taken the paint off. Let me sort that out. Okay. Just not getting a good seal at all on this. So I'll just pop a bit more glue up there. Might be a case of using super glue here. Ah, that's got it. I can actually feel that starting to bond in now. Yeah, that's better. So let's kick off then with sidearms. I'm just going to put the glue on these first. Just give it a moment because I'll just soften the plastic just enough so we can get them to bond properly. What I'm trying to do is get those to line up just at the top there against the belt. There we go. Just noticed I've got glue dripping out of this. Go. And again, what I should have done is dry fitted them first. Because some of them will actually fit on a bit easier. A bit easier than others. Yeah, it's got enough room back there for his power pack to go on. I want to be careful with this guy because I need to leave enough room for him to have his what's it in place, his holster for his dagger. Okay. There's another one just hit the deck. I cannot. Is that it? No. There it is. Sorry about that. We will call him Sergeant Awkward. Yeah, he's definitely been a bit of a pain. I'm going to have to touch that up just a little bit, but not to worry. So, last bit to do here. We have our gold encrusted combat knife for Sergeant Awkward. I'm going to have that grav locked. Where's our other knife boy? Here we go. Okay, well that brings us neatly through to the hour, so if I just swoop this down, we can have a look how our boys are coming on. Definitely starting to look the business now. And we'll leave it there for this week. So I just want to say thank you for watching and joining in on the chat, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week for another edition of Midlife Crisis. Bye for now.